Intro to flow art. Alright, so I'm going to go over a little introduction about myself. My name is Getouei, or Sparkai. Well, Sparkai came from my original name, and then came from someone called me Sparky, like, at a rave at one point in time. I'm a flow artist, and I have been spinning and flowing for quite some time now. I do saber and glove flow in the EDM scene. If you don't know what EDM is, it's electronic dance music. Rather it be when I'm off work, or not at a convention, or at a rave. I'm always practicing regardless. Hello, thank you for coming by. Let's see. I always practice the floor whenever I get a chance. With that being said, let's get right into it, because we got a lot to go in. Also, by the way, this has nothing to do with anime. It's all about the vibe, music, illusion of flow art, and with that being said, let's stick around and let's get into it. For real this time. Alright, so... Oops, wrong side. Okay, here we go. So, introduction, illusion, the purpose itself. So, to explain flow art in a simple way is, to newcomers simply, it's putting the illusion, making an illusion of insert whatever object you have, rather to make it look like it's floating. And the dark or spinning, also creating a crazy wonky effect depending on the flow toy itself. And the entire purpose, while I'm on the topic of flow art, I want to go over the purpose, and that is to put on a show. Rather it be poi flow, hoop flow, saber flow, or glove flow, they are the art and the vibe of the show. Alright, how it works. We're getting into good stuff here. Now, before I go into the different types of flow toys, and there's a lot of flow toys out there, like a lot. By the way, so there are different ways on how flow toys work and have an effects. Let's go into my personal favorite, gloving. As you can tell, these are LED gloves. Gloving works best in pitch black darkness. It's all about the motion and the fingers and the hands, also the wrists too. Heck, you can even learn hand jutsu while you're at it from Naruto and put them in the light show. Some flow toys require different movements, so some with fingers, some with hands, some with arms, some with contact points, even strings and orbs. Alright, so now we're going to get into a small history about about flow art. So one of the biggest things in the EDM community isn't found on the stage. It's found in the crowd, like in a big crowd. The crowd itself has a ton of flow artists, all the way from vibrant hoops to LED gloves. It's an overflow of flow toys in the crowd. The flow is all about the state of mind. Also, it's all about skill. Also, it's about manipulation of the object. Each flow toy has a different type of background. Alright, so different types of flow toys. We're going to be here for a little bit while I talk about the different types of flow toys, the styles they come in, and the effects they have. There's just not one, not two. There's like more than one flow toy out there. But I'm going to go over the most known ones. Alright, so title screen. Alright, so my personal favorite, the gloves. So the gloves are more for the eyes, and it's to put one in a hypnotic trance, basically. Just like make them watch and just like be mesmerized by it. The way it works is all in the hands and fingers. There's a variety of tricks you can do when it comes to gloving, all the way from rolling to stacking, and just to name a few tricks that I know of. How the LED gloves work is they're on the tips of the fingers, the LEDs, and you can have them on top, like right here, or at the bottom of the fingertips. I'm going to go into those two in a minute, like after the panel. Depending on what you feel comfortable with, before you start gloving, I highly recommend you stretch your hands, fingers, and wrists. Alright. Saber and blade flow, the way of the Jedi. So this one is a bit different from glove flow because it mainly heavily relies on your wrists and arms and hands. Usually to start the start of blade flow consists of like 360s and whips, which is, I'm going to show you what those are after the panel, if we have time. In case you're wondering what Saber 360 whips, and 360s are when you like use your wrist and like spin the saber kind of like this in this motion, while you're gripping the hilt and spinning the blade. Whips are kind of like small swings like that and that. The purpose of the purpose of the saber art is just for spinning and to put on a show and up your light show game. Also, safety measures, you have to have space, at least a feet or two. And I'll show you what kind of saber flow actually looks like. Oh, the sound don't work. That's basically what saber flow is. Big thanks to the Getouei right here for recording. And pause you. Alright, so yeah. Cursive. There we go. Okay, so hoop flow. So hoop flow relies more on your body and hands and wrists, like what I said previously about sabers. Well, that's kind of untrue with the wrist, at least. Some tricks with a hoop rely on hands and the entire body, including your hips. Sometimes up here, depending on what you want to do. I mean, heck, you can even do flips, like kind of like roll it like this way. So, okay. Also, the entire point of hoop flow is just to create the illusion to make it look like the hoop is floating or spinning in the dark. Also, it requires you to do, you can even do double hoops if you can, if you're like skilled enough. Kind of like using double lightsabers. If you know your tricks that well, so to speak. I'm not a hoop expert, but I know more about saber and glove flow. That's all I know. I've only tried to use a hoop once though, but yeah. Okay, one last note about hoop flow. It requires space, so be sure to back up and let the hoop artists do their thing. So, fun fact about hoop flow, it signifies the never-ending circle of life. Hoop dance is a Native American style flow from what I researched, which is actually an interesting factoid. Normally Native Americans use this in traditional healing ceremonies. Alright, poi flow. Poi flow, now you're probably thinking to yourself, what is a poi? What is this strange toy? Simple, I'll explain it. A poi is basically a LED ball or stick attached to a string or rope of some sort. How it works is in the wrists and the arms and making it spin like you're actually spinning something, like that's the illusion technically. In case you're wondering what poi means, it means ball on a string. This was transcended from Western Hawaiian cultural, which I did not even know either until I like looked up like background of pois, so that's cool. Alright, levy wand and levy stick. Another flow toy that exists in the space and time is the levy wand. So a levy wand is inspired by the magician's game, you know, like abracadabra, poof. Except this time around it can float while he's in it in the dark. How it works, it's all about physics. Just pull the string like a puppet. It can be spun or moved around like back and forth this way. Almost like you're controlling a puppet, so to speak. Alright. Next up, the dragon staff. The staff / dragon staff is originated in China, which is really cool factoid too. This staff it works basically, it requires patience and training. The staff works with the user's external and internal energy, kind of like Tai Chi almost. Alright. Hope you're all ready for this. The dangerous type of flow on planet Earth known as fire flow, or I like to call it fire jutsu. Alright, a little bit of history. So the dangerous type of flow I'm talking about in getting into is fire flow. Before I get into the dangerous part of fire flow, I'm going to just get into its origins. So fire flow can be traced back to Burning Man in 1997. in case you're wondering what Burning Man is, it's a music festival in the middle of the desert and on Black Rock Desert in Nevada, U.S. Around 2005, it became pretty popular, where a bunch of flow artists and whatnot kind of made where it originated from, which was fire flow. All right, so the dangerous part and precautions of fire flow. I do not recommend this. I do not suggest it. Unless if you're like fairly skilled and know how to like flow with fire. Not even I do this. I was tempted to at one point. So fire flow, you have to be really skilled. Also, it's best to have someone on standby in case you burn yourself. Also, another way to protect yourself is by wearing extra layers of clothes so you won't burn that quickly. Okay, so this is basically what you would want to do. And these are just some fire flowers I took during an EDM party. Alright, so, okay. Fire flows, so all fire flow toys work the same way as regular flow LED flow toys. You basically just light up the prop on fire and just spin and twirl. Just be sure you're skilled and know how to spin fire and be safe. Fire flow toys range from buoys to swords, which are so cool. Alright, so we're almost done here. Why has flow become so popular now these days? So as flow art has advanced over time, people from different backgrounds come together at music festivals, share their flow style. When it comes to the prop is manipulated, it creates a magical, hypnotizing show. Flow is all about moving like water. Also, it's all about self-expression, which is something that's like not done in the rave scene in like anime conventions. Like I don't see that many flow artists. All right, factoids about flow. All right, so every flow has a method. Every flow has its method on exercise, all the way from hands, hips, to the hoops. It also is a method. It also has a method when it comes to yoga. Clears your head, mind, helps you concentrate. The art of flow is somewhat of a sport because you're using your like mind and body more or less. And it's also a great way to get exercise. It's also a style of dance too, and it can be taught through other flow artists, and it can be self-taught with figuring out your own style. Alright, conclusion and final thoughts. Alright, so before we wrap up this flow art panel, flow art honestly to me is like the most beautiful form of art. There's more out there. It's also fun and hypnotic. It puts one in trance, like state of mind, especially when they're in the zone more or less. Also, depending on your flow toy, it's a great way to get it's a great way to exercise your body and mind. Also, you can use flow art with your cosplay, whether it be Dante from Devil May Cry with his blade spinning, or Zuko from Avatar with his fire bending. Especially if you have fire sword, so yeah. Flow art is a fun form of art, and as I said before, become one with the flow, open your mind, soul, and eyes. Questions and comments? Questions, comments? Alright. Open your mind, soul, and eyes. And sources, no one really cares. Alright. I'm going to show you these two flow toys of mine. Alright, cool. Got 10 minutes. So, just a little demonstration. This is a saber kind of like his, but like, turn you on. So, essentially the 360s are like kind of this, like I said, all on the wrist. You can do this if you want to, rotor. But this is like my secondary favorite flow toy, a saber. They can be handmade if possible. I don't know how to hand make a beam saber, but this I bought and it's like fairly easy to use. I want to learn halos at some point, which is like kind of rolling it down this way. So I'm gonna take off my gloves for this one. These here, whatever. So these here, ignore the fact that they're a mess right now, just from multiple shows. Turn you on. So these are LED lights. You can turn them on by like the switches on the fingertips, and you can do all sorts of cool tricks. I'm not even gonna take it off my gloves, but yeah, this is what a what's called LED glove looks like. Sponsored by Amazing Lights. It went out of business I think a year ago. And also you can change the light coding on this thing, which I have yet to figure out. So I'm just gonna leave those there. So, okay, stacking is more like this when it comes to glove flow. And rolling is essentially like this, and you can do this and this, different tricks, basically, all within the hands. I'm trying to think, is there any other tricks I know about relating to glove flow? I only know 360s and whips with this. But yeah, you're more than welcome to take a look at it if you guys want. How much time do we have? 3 minutes. Alright, you can get off right there. There you go.